Hello, my name is Timothytrespas, and I'm a human being who has found himself the target of gang stalking, infected with morgellons, electronic harassment, drugging, surveillance, break-ins, the whole routine. This torture has been going on now non-stop, to various degrees and ways for many years, hardcore, at least 5, 6, 7 years. And when I look back on my life, I have determined that this began around age 3.5, when I was kidnapped, drugged, tortured, and had absolutely no idea. I had a couple weeks of missing time that I've only barely begun to pull back. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. The last video that I posted, which I entitled The Other Way, I've taken down for various reasons of safety and personal whatever. Sometimes I do things without thinking them all the way through. So, to recount the story I told in that video, about 2 weeks ago, I think it was a Tuesday, Wednesday, Petra and I woke about 9 o'clock, as we always do, and I began, starting the fire, making the coffee, and I heard these people talking. I looked up out of the boat and I could see there was a woman talking to someone else, leaning over the fence. She appeared to be smoking a cigarette, and she appeared to be expressing some deep emotional difficulty that she was experiencing, and the other woman had this deep emotive face as though she was listening contently, deeply, and commiserating with her friend's problem, whatever. And I was gonna say, hello, can I help you? Who are you? What do you need? Because rarely do people come and visit there. I stepped out of the boat to determine whether or not, what was going on, and I noticed that these women had uniforms on, police uniforms, and not only were there women, there were men, and there were about 6, 7, 8 officers there leaning over the fence. When they saw me, they said, "Hey, come out of there, it's the police." So I came out of the boat and stood on top of the boat and said, "Yes, may I help you?" And they were told, "You gotta come out of there, you gotta go. This is private property, so you can't, you gotta go." I told Petra, "The police are here, get dressed, we're gonna have to go." I was fully prepared to be arrested and, all that stuff. So he said, "Is there anyone else in there with you?" I said, "Yes, my wife." He asked, "Are there any children?" "No, there are no children." "Well, you gotta come out of there, you gotta go." I said, "We can move the boat to another location." He said, "Well, you can deal with that later. You come back with a boat or something, whatever you gotta do, but right now you gotta go." They were tasked, obviously, with telling us that we had to leave and we couldn't return the way we were going to get to the water's edge, because we were passing through private property with a sign that said "No trespassing." We were doing this for about 7 months every day, until finally, I guess, So we gathered our things. It was quite cold, and we left the boat. We climbed out onto the thing. The police never climbed over the fence. They did not board the boat. They detached the pallets I was using from the fence as a ladder. Some guy from the company was there with a ladder to help us over. And they said, "Look, this," pointing to the ground we were all standing on, "is private property. That's why the fence is here. You can't go this way to get to your boat." He said, "If you return this way again, you will be arrested." I said, "Okay, thank you." And we left. They were nice. They didn't arrest us. They didn't search us. They didn't detain us. They didn't ask for our name, for our registration, for our ID, look through our pockets, aboard our boat, or search our home. They did their job, and we left. We came back later that day through a back way, which some of you have seen. It takes a little longer and whatever, and I decided that it would probably be in our best interest to move the boat, because I didn't want to continue. Our boat was docked or parked or tied up right outside a place where these people in the main office of this place, a railroad owned place or whatever it was, would see us every day, see me cutting wood and loading the boat and, you know, all the stuff you do. And I figured it would probably be in our best interest for them not to see us every day, because that would just piss them off. You know, oh, we thought we told these people to leave, and here they are. So I packed up as much stuff as I could from the little camp I had assembled on the shore and put everything on the boat, and we moved the boat down further, down the creek, to a spot where there weren't other boats tied up too closely, and found a place to tie it up. I reassembled the rope ladders to get up and down the 6 or 8 foot drop to get on the boat at low tide, and did all the tying of the boat, and you know, then I had to move the other boat. Now the other boat is truly an adventure. The other boat has it's a 1966 Pearson Ariel, so it's 25 feet long, fiberglass hull, and it's very responsive, a very light boat that seems to bounce around way too much for me in the water, but hey, it has a 6 horsepower 1966 or 67, 68 Johnson Seahorse manual pull start motor, and the motor is okay. So you pull it and it starts after a few tries. You get it going. Now the problem with this motor is that it has no throttle. The throttle is either on all the way, or you can turn it down slightly until the motor stalls out, and it stalls out very rapidly. And once it stalls out, for some reason, it's extremely difficult to get started. One time I tried for 6 hours or 4 hours or something when I first got this boat to get the thing started. So I knew that it wouldn't start again if I turned it off. The current was going out to the sea, and I had to take the boat up against the current. So it has no reverse, doesn't do anything, and neutral will make the motor go and idle so high that it will destroy it. So you have basically one speed, which is on, full throttle, go. So you have to untie the boat and wrap the rope around something that as the boat goes, it will pull the rope and not get caught, allowing you to go and pull the rope on. Because otherwise, if you untie the boat from the shore and you can't get the motor started, or it stalls out, now you're floating out to sea and you got a real problem. Thus the radio. So anyway, I got the boat started. The 6 horsepower is going. It takes about 30 seconds to a minute before the propeller produces enough force in the water and you start going at full speed, which on this boat is fairly rapidly, but you know. So anyway, I zoom up the creek. I got all this wood and metal and stuff I collected piled in this boat, and I get up the stream, up creek, and I have to turn around to go back down to fit the boat between the two boats, but then I have to turn it around again because the side that the boat is tied to the wall with all the tires and stuff is facing up the creek. So I very carefully calculated how much downstream floating I would need, turned around, then very slowly turned the motor down, 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 as slowly as I could until I was so close to my other boat and the motor conked out, and I allowed the force to drift. When I got bow to bow, I grabbed the bow of the other boat and grabbed the rope, jumped off onto the shore, and flip the boat around with the rope, so now the back of the boat is facing out in the right direction and the tires are against the wall, and I tie the boat up, and it was quite an adventure. So now we've been in this new position here for a couple of weeks. So far we've had no incident. The big log that I have that I attached to the wall with the tires and the things flows up and down, I brought with me. Very difficult to steer and navigate a boat with a 30-foot log tied onto it, something I don't want to try again. But we're there, we're comfortable, we're basically doing the same routine we were before, just a different access route, and hopefully there'll be no problems. Today, as we were leaving, there was a whole bunch of railroad men working on the bridge. There's a railroad bridge that we cross that it wasn't in very great shape, and they were actually repairing the walkway today for the railroad guys, I guess. And I was really concerned, but we just walked up and I said, is it okay if I cross? He didn't say anything, and I just started growing. I said thank you, and they were all like, hey, how you doing today? All right, yeah. I said, all right, thank you so much, thank you for doing this, and hopefully everything will be okay. There's 1, 2, 3 other people I know of that live, within a stone's throw of us on other boats. And down the other end, there's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 people that live in these little boats, and they all sort of keep to themselves, and they're all very quiet, and you rarely see them. And so, I just hope and pray. Every day I pray about this, that we'll be provided with freedom and safety to continue to exist and able to manage and be warm and whatever. So that's the story I was trying to tell, and God willing, there'll be more stories later. I thank you all for watching. God bless you all. Thank you for your prayers and occasionally support. Donations are so helpful. I can't even explain. There's been times where I did not know how we were going to get through the month, and some kind person would be moved to send a few dollars that just changed my life for the better, and I thank you all. God bless you, and talk to you soon.